Guys, what are we going to look at this morning? Well, we're going to look at something I didn't think we were going to ever look at on the channel. We're going to look at a gonzo knife. And the reason I didn't do it, I'll elaborate more on at the tabletop. But they used to be really, really bad about doing knockoffs and clones and copies and things like that. So basically stealing designs, but they've changed that. They have in-house designers now, and they're making some pretty good knives. Jared sent me a couple of them. I like this one. I like this one a lot. It's the first day in carry. I've had it in my pocket since about 7 p.m. yesterday, just right before the live feed. I carried it. I did a bunch of stuff with it yesterday afternoon, right before the live feed, and I've done a lot of it this morning because it's, like I said, about 10 now. So not to get into it any further, like I said, I'll talk about the controversy and stuff and why I hadn't been doing it before when we get to the tabletop. But first, you guys know what time it is. Turn down that volume because here comes a little bit of music. First of all, I'd like to apologize. My voice is all jacked up. My allergies are horrible. So I'll talk a little bit about my conflict about doing this until I really realized that Gonzo Knives has brought on some in-house designers, and they have some designers that are making stuff for them. So Gonzo Knives for a long time was synonymous with knockoffs, stuff like that. They had the Firebird brand had a couple of autos that were just basically ProTech auto knockoffs. They weren't done anywhere near as well. And so I kind of shied away from doing them because I don't like knockoffs. I don't like copies or clones. But this is not that case. They've brought on in-house designers and stuff like that. And Jared sent me this knife and we were talking about it. I was like, yeah, I'm not doing gonzos. He goes, hey, I know how you feel about that, but they've kind of changed. I mean, they've completely changed what we're doing. I'm not doing that anymore. So if it turns out that I am wrong and Jared is wrong, we will definitely, I'll retract that statement. So I've been carrying this knife just about, well, let's see, I carried it all day yesterday not all day, yesterday from about 7 p.m., maybe a little bit earlier than that till now, and it's about 10 a.m. my time here. I used it to cut down a bunch of stuff. I actually cut myself with it. This thing is a very, very good cutter. So let's take a quick look at it. Let's walk around it and I'll tell you the things I've noticed. It has some weirdness in ergos, but I've kind of gotten used to it. It has got this dipped out area where your thumb sits that just feels weird at first. But that's pretty much the only grip you've got. It doesn't have a forward choil and stuff. And it's got kind of this, standard blade shape till it gets to here and it's dipped out. I will say when cutting cardboard, it was really comfortable in hand. I didn't really feel any hot spots so far. It is a liner lock with green G10. I don't know if it comes in any colors. It's got a partial backspacer that your lanyard hole, like I said, not a fan of lanyard holes, but they gave you one if you want one. But like I said, they could have easily done it like they do on some other knives where it's dipped in and there's just a little pin in there. But it is fully enclosed in the backspacer. So if you were to have a lanyard in there, you wouldn't have to worry about it getting cut. And so that's a good feature for you guys. The liners are attractive. I like a good finish knife where there's not a lot of stuff. I would have preferred if the liners were hidden, or if you had like the redacted scales where you could see the liners all the way around, like CJRB Rhea, a couple other knives, like the handles on my Artisan Sea Snake, things like that. So pocket clip is reversible, and it's not an uncomfortable pocket clip. It's not real tall. It's just pretty much a standard pocket clip. I kind of dig this. I've seen a lot of I carry a lot of knives these days because Jared sent me to have these deep carry pocket clips, which I found a few that are really comfortable and some that I just don't mind. But that's just a really good pocket clip. It's a good solid pocket clip. It's comfortable in hand. It doesn't dig. It's not too tight. It doesn't have any hot spots. It's got a good bit of tension, but it's also really smooth. So it's in and out, and it's got a raised area to catch the material. Blade is the big showpiece on this. Everything from here down is just your standard you know, standard fare. Then you get into the blade where you've got this rounded out area where you can get a hold of it. You've got a finger aperture for flipping aperture, I should say, there, like almost like a spidey hole, so you can spidey flick. But then this blade is ground down like this with this kind of, I've seen a couple knives that have this, and the knives that I've seen that have this usually wind up being really slicey. This transition profile here, like this thing is pretty thick blade stock. It's pretty thick blade stock. It has a really good distal taper. It comes down nice and thin, and then it is, guys, not gonna joke, this is probably one of the thinnest behind the edge knives that has come in this year. And I will not lie to you, I was cutting down some cardboard. I was cutting out double wall cardboard. I didn't realize there was a spot where it thinned. I have a new microphone that came in that was a gift that a guy wasn't using. And this went from, I was cutting double wall cardboard and I'm like, wow, that really cuts good. And I was cutting and I had moved my hand and it just went into the single and just slid right through. And I thought I had my hand out of the way enough and the tip of it just caught my finger just like that. And I was like, ooh, hey, that really got me. And it got me pretty good. It took a good bit of work to get the bleeding to stop. So it slices really, really well. Screams through cardboard. It's done in D2 steel, so you know it's going to hold up pretty well. So far I haven't had any issues with it. Action on it is, I mean, it's budget knife action. It's nothing to write home about, but it's also not horrible. It's almost drop shut, just a little quick jiggle. It's a reversible pocket clip. The nice thing is the reversible pocket clip, they gave you a plate. Now, let me explain something about this. I like the plate, but it's not just for aesthetic purposes. If I wanted something for aesthetic purposes, I would want something made out of the same material as the handle. In this case, I like these, to tell you the truth. I don't give a crap about the aesthetics on them. I like these because if you want to be able to reverse your pocket clip, like say I wanted to carry this left hand, and I probably will so that I can add it to the rotation to do some other stuff with it, I can carry this left hand pocket carry because it has this. Now, the flip side of that is if you get a bunch of dirt and grit and gunk and stuff down in those holes, you're going to have a hard time getting your screws in. If you carry a knife and you use it a lot and do a lot of stuff with it, if you get a bunch of dirt and stuff down in there, you're going to have a hard time getting those screws in. It's going to be gritty. You're not going to, it's not going to work out the way you want. That's one of the problems that I've had with some of the Benchmades. I've done the pocket clip flip on Benchmades before from left to right. And if you've gotten, you know, I used to hang out in a knife shop, you know, a knife manufacturing shop, and this would get full of grit and dirt, and you basically had to clean those out real good before you did the actual flip. That's going to prevent that. This is just a dust cover. It's like a dust cover on an AR. It just kind of keeps the stuff in it, you know, out. So you can flip that pretty easily. I'm not feeling any hot spots. There's not hardware sticking up or anything like that. It seems to transition down fairly well. You don't have a problem where your plunge is out past the ricasso. It's close. It's close, but the way it's ground, it's done in a way where I don't think that would be an issue with sharpening. I don't think your flipper tab's going to get in the way. I probably am going to sharpen this because I've been using it and it is really thin. So the flip side is it's really thin and it's slicey, but it's also really thin and it's not gonna hold up as well as maybe a knife with a little thicker behind the edge profile. That's that trade-off that you get with behind the edge profile. If it's really thin behind the edge, it'll continue to cut for a long time, but it also is not going to have quite the edge retention. I mean, it'll still have really good edge retention. D2's a good edge retention steel, but I find the knives that are really slicey, they get a little bit dull easier. Flip side of that is a knife that's really slicey and thin behind the edge. It's really easy to touch them up. They're easy to clean up and sharpen. So it seems to stay nice and thin back all the way through. So it doesn't seem like as you sharpen that you would be able to have a lot of sharpenings in this before you had to worry about laying that angle back to make it, you know, to get it back to where it was slicey before. So far, I am pretty impressed with this little knife. So I hope this doesn't sound like I'm trying real hard to this. I'm not at all like unimpressed with this knife, and I'm just trying to enunciate properly because my throat is really all screwed up. So don't take the tone. Oh, I wanted to mention this. So it is steel liners with a lot. These are big, thick scales of G10, which makes it really comfortable. But they also did some weight reduction on that. It's still kind of heavy. It's not as heavy as the other gonzo that's in that I have not put in pocket yet, but it's still kind of heavy. So if that's one of your things, you might want to look at, you know, like a lighter model. But I would say that maybe I'm going to take this apart and look. They could have possibly gotten away with milling out something inside the scales to make the scales a little lighter, because I think that's where all that weight is coming from. But yeah, like I said, it's comfortable to cut with, had some initial weirdness in hand, but now that I've used it for, you know, a few hours this morning, I had to cut up cardboard because recycling was today. So yeah, I'm pleasantly surprised, and I hope that gonzo stays on that track where they're not copying or stealing designs and things like that, because this is another one of those companies that could bring a lot to the plate when it comes to getting stuff done and making stuff. So, all right, guys, that's it on this one. Let's turn this around, do some final thoughts.
So there you go, guys. Like I said, I'm kind of pleasantly surprised. I like seeing things have a turnaround where maybe something bad was going on, maybe somebody was doing something and then they've completely turned it around. I like seeing that retribution arc in people. I like seeing it in companies. I like seeing it in products. Like, this was a garbage product and they came back and fixed it. I've seen that a lot of time. I watch a lot of YouTube reviews and you'll see products that really were garbage, and then the company turned it around and brought it back like, hey, we apologize previously. This was just not, we weren't on the right track, but now we've set it up and we're doing it right. So yeah, great little knife. This Firebird knives here. I can't remember, what is it, FH921. Yeah, it's super incredible slicer. So guys, that's it. I'm kind of happy about this. Guys, if you like the videos, give them a thumbs up. If you don't like the videos, give them a thumbs down, but tell me why. I can still see that even though you can't, and I use it as a metric to base what videos you guys like and what you don't. But if you don't tell me what about the video you don't like, I can't change it. If you want to support the channel, as simple as like, share, subscribe, drop a comment, hit the bell icon. But if you hit that bell icon, make sure you've got device notifications turned on, or you're not going to get notified of the 2, sometimes 3 things that go up a day. If you want to support the channel financially, however, I have a handful of ways down in the description below. I have membership that's tier-based. Pick a membership that gets you what you want out of the memberships. But just remember, everyone gets $5 off my sharpening service, and everyone has access to my gilded server. Premium tier guys, though, get access to a sharpening tutorial series that I've built over the last couple of years. Other ways you can do it, I have affiliate links down below. The prime ones that I really am happy about: Blade HQ, where you can find almost everything that I show on the channel. And Coffee Brand Coffee, where there is no politics. You're not paying for their political agenda. You are strictly paying for the coffee. So, and it's good coffee. I've had some of the sample stuff. And the final way is I have a merchandise store on Ember Shirt Co. If you purchase my shirts, first and foremost, just like here, I will put your picture of you wearing my merchandise in the video with your name as a little script. So here we go. You can save 10% off the purchases at Ember Shirt Co. with my coupon code CrazySharp, all one word, capital C, capital S, CrazySharp, all one word, saves you 10% at checkout. I apologize for voice, my allergies are really bad. Yeah, that's it, guys. I love you all. Keep it clean in the comments section. If it's your birthday, happy birthday, and I will see you in the next video.